Okay, I am here in fractions number 11, Google Jamboard. Let's look at number 1. Max wants to run 5.5 miles to train for track season. If the total length around the track is 3/4 of a mile, how many laps does Max need to run around the track? Okay, so if his goal is 5.5 miles and he runs one lap around the track, okay, I'm going to take 3/4 away because I ran 3/4 of a mile. Let's say he runs another lap, so subtract another 3/4 from the amount that he has to run. Then he runs a third lap, so I'm going to subtract 3/4 of a mile. And so as you can see, every time Max runs a lap around the track, we can subtract 3/4 of a mile from the amount of miles that he has left to run. And we know that repeated subtraction is the same as what operation? As division, right? So let's take our goal for Max, 5.5, and let's divide it by 3/4. Because if we do that, that would tell us how many laps he needs to run around the track. So I have mixed numbers, 5.5. Let's use the C method to make it improper. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So 11 halves, and I'm dividing that by 3/4, the amount of, or the distance around the track. Now that I'm dividing by a fraction, let's use KFC. So keep 11 halves, flip 3/4 to be 4/3. That would be its reciprocal. So I keep, I flip, and then I see I change from division to multiplication. I look and see, can I cross simplify? 11 over 3, I can't, but I can with 4 and 2. These are both even and divisible by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. Multiply the numerators. 11 times 2, that's 22. And 1 times 3 is 3. So I get 22 over 3. Let's write this as a mixed number. So top divided by bottom. 3 goes into 22 7 times because 7 times 3 is 21. I would subtract and get 1. And so 1 becomes the numerator in the mixed number, and 3, the divisor, becomes the denominator. So 7 1/3 what? Well, it asks me how many laps. So this is 7 1/3 laps. If Max runs around the track 7 1/3 times, he will have ran 5.5 miles. Number 2, last Saturday, Flavia walked her dog 1 2/5 miles. Chazelle walked her dog 5 times as far. How many miles total did both girls walk their dog? So we know Flavia walked 1 2/5 of a mile. So I'm going to write 1 2/5. And I don't know how far Chazelle walked her dog, although I do know that she walked it 5 times as far as Flavia. So I know that if Flavia walked 1 2/5 miles and Chazelle walked 5 times that, of course, I need to multiply 1 2/5 times 5. And that would give me the distance that Chazelle walked her dog. So let's multiply these fractions. 1 2/5 is a mixed number, so make it improper by the C method. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So 7 over 5, right? 1 2/5 is 7/5. And I am multiplying that by 5, or 5 over 1. Cross simplify. 7 over 1 can't simplify, but 5 over 5 can, right? 5 over 5 is simply 1. So I'm going to cross those 5s out and make it a 1. And so I have 7 times 1 is 7. So Chazelle walked her dog 7 miles. Flavia walked her dog 1 2/5 mile. 2/5 miles. So it says how many miles total did both girls walk their dogs? So what I need to do in my final step is to take 1 2/5 plus 7, right? I take the amount, the distance that Flavia walked her dog, and add it to the amount of distance, or the distance that Chazelle walked her dog. So 1 2/5 plus 7 is 8 2/5. And of course, this would be miles. I can put MI for miles. Circle final answer. Okay, and number 3, you're making hamburgers for a cookout and bought 2.5 pounds of ground beef. If you want to make 1/3 pound hamburgers, how many can you make from 2.5 pounds of ground beef? So what you should do here is take your total amount of hamburger or ground beef, which is 2.5 pounds, and divide it by the amount that you want each hamburger to be, which is 1/3. So 2.5 divided by 1/3, that'll give you your answer. Number 4, Track A is 2/5 of a mile. Track B is 3/4 of a mile. How much longer is one lap around track B? So basically, you want the difference between these two numbers. What is the difference between those two numbers? Difference, of course, means subtract. So subtract the longer number minus the smaller number, and that would give you how much longer track B is than track A. Number 5, Brian bought a 15-pound bag of concrete. He split the bag into smaller bags that each hold 2.5 pounds. How many smaller bags can he fill? So here you need to take your total amount, 15 pounds, and divide that by how much will be in each small bag. So 15 divided by 2.5, and that will give you how many smaller bags you can fill. Number 6, Ben has this many baseball cards, and he'll give 1/5 of, which is a math word for multiply, 1/5 of his cards. How many cards does he have? 55. So basically, you want 1/5 of 55. What is 1/5 of 55? And that will be how many cards that Phil got. Number 7, angelfish is this long when it was bought. Now it's this long. How much has the angelfish grown? So you want the difference between what it was and what it is now. So you want the difference between 2 1/3 and 1 1/2. Difference means subtract. So subtract the bigger number minus the smaller number. Okay, once you've shown all your work and circled your final answer, be sure you turn it in.